No, no. Hello, lovelies. I'm C, and welcome back to another season of House of the Dragon. I'm very excited to get back into the world of Ice and Fire. I've missed the characters. I want to see these stories progress. And I'm hoping it's as good as season one, because I really enjoyed season one. And yeah, so let's, without further ado, get straight back into the series and get into episode one.
His Grace stood at this very outlook and watched as their dragons, the greatest power in the world, refused to cross it.
Yeah, that's why I'm not gonna get into Game of Thrones,
Do you think
but
my
yeah.
ancestors built a 700-foot wall of ice to keep out snow and savages?
Facts.
What does it keep out?
The real enemy.
I have thousands of greybeards who have already seen too many winters. They are well honed,
So they're old.
I can ready them to march at once.
If your greybeards can fight, the Queen will have them.
They will fight hard,
No one's gonna say no to men.
like northerners.
A raven's arrived.
Oh, it's about his brother. This is weird. This used to be her son-in-law.
It was only when I saw my daughter's mortal remains that I could begin to mourn her. A raven has told Rhaenyra that her son is dead. She needs to know it for certain.
She was a fool to go alone. What if Daemon were to happen upon her?
Then I would pity Aemon.
Yeah, she would have gone crazy on his ass.
The Queen was wise to recuse herself. She's not acted on the vengeful impulse that others might have.
If you'd have acted when you had the chance,
Yeah.
Aegon's line would be extinguished.
But at the same time, this isn't really her war.
Fly with me.
It's still family they're
It is a
fighting.
command.
Would that you were the king.
Damn. He likes to think of himself as the king, though. He really does.
The smithy delivered this earlier. My lord?
I had this commissioned for Prince Lucerys.
Oh.
I was very sorry to hear about your heir's death.
I
It's the blackest of
completely
treacheries.
forgot about that part. Wow.
Pardon, my lord.
Yes, because he
please
was
you.
supposed to
Much to
marry,
do.
and then
They
he
tell
would
me
have
that
taken
you're the one
over.
that dragged my body out of the sea.
Oh, wow. So he saved him.
It was only my duty.
I am indebted to you, Alan.
That was such a strange interaction. I mean, maybe I was just seeing it as strange, but it just felt so awkward for both parties. It's not even like a one-sided thing, and like they both seemed so uncomfortable.
After Prince Aemon's marriage pact to the Lady Florence Baratheon, I anticipate their sworn declaration.
My
It's probably gonna be the most
brother is
boring
raising the
experience for
strength of
him.
The West amassed the Golden Tooth, but we. Yeah, thank you, my prince. That's
Just let him
very
do
helpful.
him.
My nephew Lord Ormond musters his forces to sally forth from Old Town. They expect to march quickly, meeting little resistance until they reach the Riverlands.
My letters to Rhaenyra. Has there been any answer?
An apology for her dead son?
I know.
None, your grace. Between
Nobody
that
was
and their
gonna take
blockade of
that.
the gullet, we must presume that the princess has refused the offered terms, and that war is now inevitable.
Perhaps your grace might lend his voice to our outreach.
Enough.
In hopes that new terms might be negotiated.
Release it at once.
Dude,
Someone please.
Is
just
the heir
let
to the
him
throne
have
bothering
some
you, Tyler?
fun. Like, it'll keep him busy.
No, not in the least, your grace.
Because I think he wants a ride.
Wow. That sucks.
Path to King's Landing is through the Riverlands. We must establish a toehold there. At Harrenhal.
The River Lords will either declare for me, or they will meet Rhaegar and Sunfire together. And we can burn the blockade while we're
Poor
at it.
river
Rhaenyra
lords.
has dragons as well.
Mine are bigger.
If we loose the dragons to war, there'll be no calling them back. We must proceed cautiously.
Fat old Lord Tully will either raise my banner or see his burn.
Why did
We
you
should fly
want
to
your
Riverrun.
kid to be king?
You are the king, Your Grace. You must not put yourself at risk.
And Vhagar is needed here to deter Rhaenyra from attacking, in retribution for the death of her son.
Errors were made in the hours following King Viserys' death. We mustn't compound them. You've already demonstrated your might, Your Grace. We must now favor patience and restraint.
I so dislike him. He kind of reminds me of Joffrey.
They no longer breathe our air. I've chosen your new staff, personally.
I wonder if those were the rats she was talking about. But it couldn't be because they were defeated or killed.
Give me that.
Your Grace?
Just leave me. Just leave me.
I wonder what's going on in that mind of hers. That spot is clean. She's just been like on that same shoulder for a good minute. It's gotta be so rough. And I appreciate the show for actually taking the time to show her grief. Because it could have been very easy to kind of make it something like almost like that's not acknowledged, but we're aware that she's depressed and grieving. But I like that they actually took the time to show she's, you know, away from what she should be doing, but she needs this time to deal with her pain.
King Aegon. Aegon the Magnanimous, second of his name. King of the Andals and the Rhoynar and the First Men.
I mean, okay, regardless of where you stand with black or green, I feel like we should all be able to agree that Rhaenyra would have been a better queen than Aegon, specifically.
The Smiths are all proud to support your grace against Rhaenyra.
But
Yeah.
Iron costs have grown. A lone scorpion takes weeks to build. To put it simply, we are struggling. If we could but have the crown's coin before we started work, it would be a great relief. Not just to me, but to all the Smiths serving your cause.
You shall be paid, and paid well. My army cannot win a war without your weapons. You should
Oh
continue
my
their making.
gosh, his grandfather's like,
Our
again?
victory depends on the efforts of the small folk.
You have my most sincere gratitude, Your Grace.
I'll hear the next petition.
Well, so far so good. It looks like, I mean, he's not great at it, but at least he's not a tyrant.
You brought forth memories of him, and he was such a deft touch with the small folk, just as your father did.
Thank you, my lord.
What's
I wonder
his
if the other man
aim?
would quite work. Is the hands want to keep a firm grip on things? You controlled your father the same way.
Oh,
Sarah's
dissension
reputation
between
as
him and
being
his
pliable.
grandfather.
I am aware.
I would think, as we find ourselves standing within a hair's breadth of war, that you would wish to be viewed differently.
Wow.
How?
Otto Hightower was your father's hand, Your Grace.
Oh, is he trying to get to that position of hand? Because that's what it's feeling like. It's feeling like he's trying to be the hand.
It's victory.
And how would you define victory?
Very good
Rhaenyra
question.
bending the knee, And
That's
Aegon
never gonna
sitting there
happen.
enthroned in peace,
It's never gonna happen.
as Viserys wished.
That's not what he
If
wished.
that's how you describe it, then we are aligned.
Then be my ally.
I am.
An ally would not repeatedly cut my legs from beneath me at that table of men. I sit there and I feel your anger.
Frustration. These critical days since Viserys' passing haven't gone to plan.
I mean, you guys usurped.
My sons both see you as the great example. The hand to 3 kings. Aegon is ever eager to prove himself, and Aemond is angry. Rhaenyra's son took his eye and was never punished for it. What he did, however vicious.
The caprice of youth.
Again, the fact that they're justifying it, it's like,
Can only hope.
we know he didn't mean to do it, but they think he did. That's so messed up.
Certainly do not now. Otto Hightower was to me as I am to your noble ilk, fodder to be cast off.
What else do you know of him, his plans?
Little and less.
So not very useful is what you're saying?
It's nothing of value to you, Daemon.
Have her moved to the cells. She is to be treated as a traitor to the crown.
Forgive me, my prince, but the lady speaks the truth. She was no agent of the Hightowers.
What is it to you?
A matter
Interesting.
of honor.
Was it honor that made you stand by and watch as the Hightowers usurped the throne?
What was he gonna do? What was he gonna do? Poor thing.
Did you find what you needed?
She's ready.
Your counsel stands at the ready, Your Grace. I will fly to Harrenhal at your command and set our toehold in the Riverlands.
Your Grace, my Lord Husband's blockade of the
She's
Gullet
looking
moves into
rough
place.
though,
All
man.
Seaborne travel and trade to King's Landing will soon be cut off.
I want Aemond Targaryen.
Damn. She picks one of the hardest things to do. Nothing else. I want Aemon Targaryen, and that's it. And it's sad too, because there's no body, right? It's just... Getting eaten by a dragon is like... Wow. I'm not surprised. Like, she's not an evil person. She's just made some terrible decisions. But I'm sure others won't feel like that.
Tonight he's going to be your friend. You're to find and slay the Prince Aemon Targaryen. He has silver hair and one eye. Should be easy enough to find. But I understand he's quite good in a fight. You want to take caution. One half.
Now I'm very
Forget the other one,
curious
it's done.
what happens here, because, I mean, I don't want to spoil people, but this is probably not going to go to plan.
All right. What if we can't find him?
We've wasted precious days in this war of quills and
no.
ravens. Words are wind.
Oh no.
Angry.
she blames me for starting this war, after she plotted with my father's council to usurp his throne. Her grace.
You know, I'm kind of liking him more. I kind of like him more. I don't like his company. Like,
She has a
he keeps
gentle heart.
terrible company, but...
And Rhaenyra is a cunning spider.
Says you.
Long ago, she drew Alicent into her web.
Oh my god, I hate his voice.
It is not your mother's fault.
I dislike you greatly.
She wants love for our enemy. That makes her a fool.
It makes her a fool because she created this enemy. Where there was none.
My nephew's already taken that one.
It's a king.
I need to be both. My mother and grandsire mind me like some helpless duckling.
Oh, but you're the king.
I kind of like this
Who gives a shit
inclusion
what they say?
because
My brother at
Joffrey
least
didn't
knows
have
his
friends.
place. He's as loyal as a hound.
So it's
I
kind of
can
nice
say
to
him and
see
his dragon on my foes at will.
him interacting with people who are not like on his council or anything like that, but just other nobles that he's friends with.
No one knows what magnanimous means.
I think Aegon the Generous, then. That would charm the small folk.
I like that.
Is there more strong one? Aegon the Dragonheart.
Better.
Wow.
Aegon the Dragon Cock.
Yes. Yes. The untamable beast.
I love how he has this like little powwow like by the throne. Like,
Stay still.
oh shit. She's afraid of the rats.
A son for a son, he said. Or does she look like a fucking son to you?
Over there.
No, shit, this is literally what I was afraid of. No.
Get our head and get out.
No, don't go after the baby. Fuck.
The mother knows.
Do anything but what I ask, and I'll bleed the whole lot of you.
This guy's surprisingly vicious.
Which?
Oh my god. The fucking Sophie's choice.
It's of great value.
That's not a son.
Is she gonna give up her daughter? Oh my god, I feel so bad for her right now. I feel so bad. When you have to choose your child.
Wait. It's the other one. She's not going to give up the king's heir that easy.
No. She's telling true.
Hold him down.
Oh my god. Oh my god, slicing flesh. Oh my god.
Helena.
I am so terrified and off-put by so much that's just happened.
They killed the boy.
Oh my god. I'm actually so disgusted by the end of this episode. Just like even in the closed caption when they were talking about like, or you could read the sounds from what they were doing, it was just disgusting. Like everything about that was so disgusting. And it hurts because it's not what Rhaenyra wanted. And again, it's going to come across that like she told them to kill Aegon's son when really like it was Daemon, which I got what he was doing, but again, it's not the right move. um I think the biggest problem too is all of the miscommunications because everybody has their idea of what other people are doing, but the actual reasoning behind it actually gives these decisions so much more um not necessarily sense, but more of an understanding of why. And it's not always an evil reason. Like Aemon didn't mean to kill Luke, and Alicent wasn't necessarily just trying to usurp the throne. She thought Viserys changed his mind and wanted Aegon. So it's really sad just because there's so much that people don't understand in terms of the decisions other characters have made. And I think even here they're gonna think again, like I was saying, Rhaenyra did this, when I know Daemon did this because he thought Rhaenyra just wanted some kind of vengeance, but she wanted a specific kind of vengeance. She didn't want any son. She wanted Aemon specifically, and she even said, "I want Aemon, like Aemon Targaryen," right? Like specifically named who she wanted. But I think with Daemon, he just thought any son will do. And the outcome of this is going to be brutal because Aegon, we saw how much he cared about his son. And I realized as I was getting close to the ending, as soon as they said they wanted to go after Aemon, or I was like, shit. Because I know how that's like, I know what eventually comes with Aemon. I'm not going to get into it. I'm not spoiling anything. But I knew that it wasn't going to work out in this situation. So my mindset was like, okay, if this is called a son for a son, they're not going after Aemon, but they were showing us Aegon's son and his love for him. The only alternative that they would have in the castle is Jaehaerys. And it's just like, it really shows you when you can't move on or even forgive situations, how much worse you can make things. Because if Aemon had been able to forgive what happened to him and not gone after Luke, Luke wouldn't have died. The animosity between the two fractions would not have been as high as it is now. And then now we have more vengeance. And it's like, the more you look for revenge and vengeance, the worse the situation will become. And I mean, from there, the only thing that's going to happen is it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. And it's just sad to know that if people actually had very honest and open conversations, a lot of the things that are happening in this show would not be happening. But again, they wouldn't be as interesting to watch if everyone was just airing out all of their issues with no consequence. But yeah, it just shows the importance of not letting vengeance control you, because sometimes you will make your life 10 times worse. Because now the Greens have their own pain that they're going to want to inflict in retribution on the Blacks, and it's just going to be a back and forth until nobody's happy, which is already what's happened. Alicent and Kristen, it's disgusting, and that's all I'm going to say about it. He is horrible. Yeah, and I love how he just blames everything on Rhaenyra. Everything is Rhaenyra's fault. Like, he is just this perfect angel. Oh my god, I dislike him so much. Like, I actually don't hate Allison, but I feel like she could do better. Like, there's way better out there. Kristen is the worst. But yeah, Daemon, he fucked up. He fucked up. I've been trying to hold that back, but like I can't. That's the only thing to describe what's happened here. And he fucked up. Like it's gonna get bad. It's gonna get so bad. And the whole seven kingdoms are going to suffer because there's dragons involved. But yeah. Still like Rhaenyra though. I still feel like she would have been a better queen, but Aegon kind of proved he's not the worst. He definitely reminds me of Joffrey, but if like Tywin had helped raise him. So it's like he's a little off, but if he'd had like actual structure, and so he's not as deranged or out of control. But I feel like I think his name's Laris. I always forget, the Littlefinger kind of guy. I feel like he's going to try to come in between Alicent and Otto and kind of take control or more control over Viserys. I mean, not Viserys, Aegon. Whoa. Over Aegon. And that's going to be... It's going to be when things get really interesting. But yeah, this was sad all around. Because then we started seeing one mother dealing with the loss of her child, and then we ended with another having to literally witness the loss of her son. Yeah, it's all gonna go to shit, but I'm expecting that because I know how this ends. But the journey to that ending is kind of just as enjoyable, to be honest, if not more so, because it's like everything becomes clearer. This is why it happened, and there was no other way it could have gone. But yeah, if you enjoyed this reaction and you want to see more, please like and subscribe. We are probably in for a doozy of a season, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. Love that George R. R. Martin actually has a lot of influence over the series. Everything that happened feels like this is how it was supposed to happen, or he wanted it to happen. Because in Fire and Blood, there are like passages that aren't clear or not fully described to give this air of mystery. So he's kind of like filling in the blanks to things that we did not know. So I'm happy about that. It's like no matter how much you know about the story, there's always parts of it you'll never know because he didn't tell you. So it's like it's filling in all those gaps. Even when there are certain things I do remember. But I guess we'll see what happens, and I'm sure it's not going to be good. God, this first episode ended with a baby being butchered. The fuck? Like, it's literally just slowly, like, coming to my mind that, like, I literally had to read slicing his flesh. Like, the fuck, man. Just the fuck. I'm done. Bye. Oh my god. That was so fucked up.